What makes money so vital in today's economy, you may wonder? Well, the answer lies in the very foundation of our modern economy, which is built on credit and debt. It's a system that facilitates economic growth and opens up opportunities. For instance, consider a small business owner who wants to expand operations. Without credit, this might be impossible due to the high upfront costs, but with access to credit, they can borrow the needed funds and repay it over time. This not only benefits the business owner, but also the economy as a whole by creating jobs and boosting economic activity. In the same vein, credit allows individuals to make significant purchases such as buying a home or a car, which would otherwise be out of reach. It's a system that empowers us to invest in our futures and contribute to the economy. And let's not forget the fast-paced nature of our digitized economies. Money in this context isn't just a medium of exchange, it's a critical component of a complex system that operates at breakneck speed. So when we ask, what makes money so vital in today's economy? It's not just about buying and selling, it's about accessing opportunities, fostering growth, and navigating a rapidly evolving economic landscape. Money matters more now than ever before, especially in our credit-based economy. Let's dive into an example. Consider the housing market. This is a sector where the importance of credit and debt comes sharply into focus. Most individuals can't afford to buy a home outright. So, what do? They take out a mortgage. This is where credit steps in. It enables people to become homeowners, investing in their future and contributing to the economy. But there's more to the story. While credit and debt facilitate homeownership, they also have a significant impact on the housing market itself. Take Australia, for example. Over the past 30 years, inflation in the residential property market has skyrocketed to around 382%. This market is like an athlete on performance enhancers, growing at an unnatural and potentially unsustainable rate. And who's benefiting from this? The big banks, whose profits have swelled by billions thanks to this wave of speculative investment. But wait, there's a twist. Despite the housing market's massive influence on the economy, central banks often exclude this sector when calculating the main inflation rate. This exclusion can distort our understanding of the economy's true health and the real value of our money. So what does this all mean? It underlines the critical role that credit and debt play in our lives and our economy. They enable us to invest in our future and participate in economic life. However, they also influence the markets in ways that can have complex and far-reaching effects. Credit and debt, in this case, play a vital role in shaping our economy and our lives. However, is the game fair for everyone? This question leads us to the heart of our financial system, a labyrinthine structure that often appears balanced, but in reality is anything but. The system, it seems, is rigged, with the scales tipped heavily in favor of the wealthy. It's a game where the rules are written by the affluent for the affluent, creating a chasm of inequality that continues to widen. Central banks play a pivotal role in this narrative. Established by bankers and the ultra-rich, these institutions manipulate the economy to their advantage, maintaining a status quo that primarily benefits the propertied classes. It's akin to a puppet show with central banks pulling the strings, subtly maneuvering the economic landscape to favor those sitting at the top of the financial pyramid. The book Money Matters: Navigating Credit, Debt, and Financial Freedom by Robert Sudha Hamilton delves into this reality and unveils the inherent bias within our financial system. Hamilton's work provides a refreshing and candid perspective, shedding light on the machinations of a system where the rich get richer and the poor struggle to keep their heads above water. While credit and debt may facilitate economic growth and provide individuals and businesses with opportunities otherwise beyond their reach, it's crucial to recognize that this system is not designed to benefit everyone equally. The housing market, a cornerstone of Western economies, is a prime example. It's a market that's been on steroids, with inflated property rates benefiting banks and the wealthy, while making homeownership a distant dream for many. So, what does this mean for the average person? It means that we're often left on the periphery, our interests and financial well-being secondary to the concerns of the financial sector and complicit governments. We're participants in a game that's rigged from the start, a game where the deck is stacked against us. The financial system, it seems, is not a level playing field but a rigged game. But why isn't there more discussion around this? In our world today, it's striking just how little we talk about money and the financial systems that govern our lives. We're inundated with news about politics, pop culture, and even the weather, yet the topic of money remains conspicuously absent from the conversation. It's as if there's an unspoken agreement to keep the intricacies of our financial system a secret, hidden away from the prying eyes of the general public. This silence around money echoes loudly in our society, creating a void where knowledge and understanding should be. The financial world continues to spin, its gears and cogs whirring away, all while the majority of people remain blissfully unaware of the mechanisms at work. It's not that people aren't interested in money, quite the opposite. We all need it, we all use it, and we'd all like to have more of it. Yet the system that creates, distributes, and governs it remains shrouded in mystery. This might not be an accident. Could it be a deliberate strategy by those in power to keep the masses in the dark, to prevent us from asking too many questions or probing too deeply? After all, knowledge is power, and in this case, the knowledge of how our financial system truly operates is a power that's been closely guarded by the few at the top. Most folk turn their focus away from the jargon-infested goings-on in the realm of high finance. This is despite the fact that terms like inflation have come to cause many of us terrible outcomes in life. Increased CPI and high inflation means our money cannot buy as much. Inflation is usually accompanied by rising interest rates, which means borrowing money becomes more expensive and harder to source. Central banks vigorously go after inflation with the brute force of monetary policy. This ultimately causes an economic recession in most cases, resulting in people losing working hours and sometimes their jobs. Not comprehending the workings of the capitalist economy or willfully ignoring it comes at a cost. Perhaps it's time we start asking more questions about our financial systems. So, what have we learned today? We've delved into the significance of money in our current economy, understanding that it's more crucial than ever before. We've seen how credit and debt serve as the lifeline of our economic pulse, facilitating growth and enabling access to resources that would otherwise be unattainable. We've also looked at the housing market and how credit and debt are key players in this arena, with most unable to afford a home without a mortgage. We've ventured into the somewhat murky waters of our financial system, recognizing that it's far from a level playing field. Instead, it's a game rigged in favor of the wealthy and the propertied classes, often leaving ordinary folks on the periphery. Banking is a privileged world, where a small coterie of financially minded professionals literally make our digital money by pumping zeros onto numbers on account screens, turning debt into credit. Commercial banks expand our economies every time they lend money. Most people have no idea how the world of banking actually works. We base our assumptions on how our own finances work. However, family and individual finances depend upon things like earning, budgeting, and saving. The finances of nations and commercial banks are not run in this way, as there is no gold standard anymore. High finance is all about speculation, with ginormous volumes of debt and credit gambled every moment of the day and night. Moreover, we've noted the stark silence around money in public discourse. Despite its importance, money is often seen as a taboo topic, rarely discussed in depth, and often avoided by those who possess it. In the end, understanding money and our financial systems is key to navigating our economic reality. In the new book, Money Matters: Navigating Credit, Debt, and Financial Freedom by Robert Sudha Hamilton, you will read about how the system is set up to favor some to the disadvantage of the many. Central banks were set up by bankers and the very wealthy to maintain and manipulate the economy to the advantage of the wealthy and propertied classes. Knowledge is power, so read this book.